We're very, very, very happy to see so many of you here. It really means a lot to me personally, and I know that it will mean a lot to queers everywhere, not just in Hungary, who see that there are people who want to stand up for queer rights and who are going to go to the streets, and they're going to show up in person. And I'm very happy to see all of you here. We're going to start with the speeches now. Is there anything you would like to say?
Just one more thing. We are here for solidarity. Solidarity means keeping your mask on, making sure you know what to do, you know the drill. Please take care of each other, look out for one another, and stay safe. And yes, as first speaker, I would like to invite Ariel on stage, a sociology student from Hungary.
Hello, hello. So, thank you so much for being here, everybody. So first things first, I want to send a message to the Hungarian embassy. Fuck the Hungarian government and fuck Viktor Orban. That's right. Because it feels really shitty to have your basic rights taken away, doesn't it? So as you know, the situation in Hungary is very dark. You only have to drive an hour to be in a hostile place for queer folks. A place where queers are systematically attacked, disabled, and erased by their own government. Today I stand here as a non-binary Hungarian to speak up against this injustice. Hungary officially accepted a set of laws that effectively ban any kinds of gay or trans representation for people under 18. This means there can be no sex and gender diversity trainings in school, no queer public service announcement, not even queer advertisements. It is an insult to injury that these laws are grouped in the same document with punishment for pedophilia. How fucked up is that? The situation in Hungary is super dark. Queer people under 18 cannot learn about the beauty of their sexuality and gender expression. They cannot feel safe in a classroom where the word gay is only ever used to bully them. This way, they cannot belong to a world that stigmatizes them for who they are. More importantly, who are they going to speak to about this? Who will be there to provide a listening ear when even acknowledging queerness is a crime? These laws do no less than cut out and erase queer existence from a society where 8 to 10% belong to the LGBTQ community. And all for what? Political gain. But this comes at a great cost. I wish there was somebody in my school to teach me about all the ways someone can feel attraction or express their gender. I wish my first association with gay was not through disgrace and humiliation. I wish there was somebody to stand up for me when I was bullied for my feminine expressions, but there wasn't. There wasn't because this is normal to do so. It was only in university abroad when I first really met queer people, and they taught me that it is possible to express your queerness and live happily. In fact, if I cannot express it, it is impossible for me to live happily. Nonetheless, it takes a long time, even now, to accept myself for who I am. But I had the fortune to meet these wonderful people like you all. But what about the next generation of Hungarians? How can they express and own their sexuality and gender identity if they cannot even name it, if it is forbidden to speak about it? Many of us know how it feels to be different, but not having the words to describe it. Many of us know how isolating it feels to have something wrong with our bodies, our voices, and feelings. Perhaps many of us felt hopeless and abandoned at some point because there was nobody around us to understand us to hold our hands and say, "It's okay, I love you." Fortunately, I am sure that many of us have met someone saying these words, and we know that it meant not only the world to us, but also our life. That our life is real, that what we feel is real, simply that we exist. But these people sitting in the government, they deny the core of our existence. The lack of this crucial acknowledgement has led many queer folks to very, very dark places. Not just in their country, their homes or school, but in themselves. And we very well know it is not easy to come out from that place. Some of us never do. These laws are specifically designed to send us into these places. It is designed to erase us, the very possibility to recognize and state our existence. These laws were made to unmake queer people, starting from the very beginning, the crucial moments of childhood and puberty. The damage done will be hard to estimate, since so much of it resides in the invisible corners of our souls. But here we stand, sad, confused, and angry. What can we do about this? First of all, we demand that these outrageous homophobic and transphobic laws are revoked. They disrespect our dignity and are irreconcilable with basic rights of humans. These laws must be revoked. On the personal level, however, there is only one cure for abandonment. The cure is love. One of the most important things we can do is to let our queer friends know they are not alone. That we stand with them and we stand for them. We can give them a hand that they need so desperately right now. I will never forget the people who were there when I was in those dark places. They stood by me, and hand in hand, we walked to better, lighter places. Places where we didn't have to constantly look over our shoulders, where we could rest and play and giggle and cuddle and discover and think our thoughts and speak our minds and feel our feelings and help others to do so as well. So let us care for each other in these dark times, because sometimes that's all we can do. And now, perhaps more than ever, we need to do so. Thank you.
We're here, we're queer, we won't go away. 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 As the next speaker, I would like to invite Kat from Hungary on stage. Also, please keep your masks on and, distancing.
Hi everybody, my name is Kat and I'm 50 years old. I was 15 when I first fell in love with another girl. This was in 1980s Hungary, and I had no information about same-sex attraction at all. There were no queer characters in films and TV series, no mention of queer people at school or in the media. I thought I was the only one on the planet to feel this way. This was terribly lonely. an isolated feeling which lasted until the 1990s, when the Iron Curtain fell, NGOs were allowed to form, and the TV began to show Western series with gay and lesbian characters. When in 2000, Lovely's Lesbian Association started a school sensitization project called Getting to Know LGBT People, I joined because I didn't want the next generation to grow up as isolated as I did. But after another 20 years, the Hungarian parliament has passed a law which prohibits the portrayal of LGBT people to minors, especially in schools and in the media. This means that our project is likely to be banned. And now I think back of all the kids I have talked to in these classes. The 15-year-old gay kid just over 2 weeks ago in a small town near Budapest who asked for advice how to preserve his self-esteem among his homophobic relatives. The asexual girl in the same class who almost believed herself that she was abnormal, a freak of nature, and our lesson was the first time she was reinforced that it is okay not to feel sexual attraction. And I think of earlier lessons. The intersex kid who came out in class after a boy said he didn't believe in intersexuality. Where he comes from, he said, there are only men and women. The two boys, obviously a couple, huddled together in the last row of a class where, according to their teacher, there are no gay kids. The boy who had been gay bashed in his previous school by his whole class, even though he wasn't even gay, he just preferred playing the piano to playing football. The 15-year-old lesbian whose girlfriend had been locked up by her parents in the hope of curing her of homosexuality. And the many, many straight kids who have asked me, I wish I could do something for my queer friends. Please give me advice, how can I help? These kids now are more informed and open-minded than their parents or teachers because they have seen queer characters on TV, they know queer pop stars, and sometimes listen to songs that tell the message that to be gay is okay. Some of them may even have heard of LGBT people at school or done a school project about, say, gay teenagers and film. But now all this will be banned. And I have a strong fear that the future generations of queer kids will experience what I did in my teens, and what I had hoped no new generation would ever have to experience again. Please do not let this happen. What will protect our kids is not shutting away them from information, but making schools safe and supportive space for all children. So stand up against the homophobic law in Hungary. Thank you.
Als nächstes auf der Bühne bitte Emily und Milan vom Verein Nichtbinär für die Selbstbestimmung und Anerkennung von transidenten, nichtbinären und intergeschlechtlichen Menschen. Bitte Applaus.
Hi, my name is Milan. I'm 26 years old and I'm from Hungary. I'm non-binary and bisexual. I love my country. I know it sounds like a cliche, but I really do. I love vacations at Lake Balaton. I love my hometown and the endless walks in nature around it. I love Budapest, its culture, its amazing young people and atmosphere. But unfortunately I had to leave. I first came to Vienna in 2013 to study. A year before Hungary passed a law that required all students who had their studies paid for by the state to work in Hungary for as long as the duration of their studies, or to pay back the tuition with interest. I didn't want to have that limitation forced on me, so I came here to Austria to study. Some people say that I've chosen the easier way, the easier life, but that's not entirely true. A foreign language, foreign people, and the higher cost of living. Back in Hungary, my parents could have easily supported me financially. Here I had to work to be able to support myself. First, I didn't rule out completely that one day I would be able to return. However, this soon changed. The first wave of hate came in 2015 when the government started to spread hate against refugees. And unfortunately, their hate campaign was successful. So, after the refugees were gone, and they couldn't continue that scaremongering, they had to look for new targets. They tried many marginalized groups. They spread hate against homeless people, against Romani people, and finally, they found a new target, LGBTQ people. Now, these people in the government are despicable. The only thing they want is power and money. They do not shy away from anything in order to get it. No matter how low you set the bar, they surprise you by finding new ways to go under it. They don't care how many lives of innocent people they turn to hell. They don't care how much hate they spread. They find a way to spin their message to the bitter, frustrated masses who they keep in darkness and on the edge of poverty and direct their frustration to marginalized groups. The propaganda is so strong now that I've personally encountered people who see and understand how much money Orban steals, but they still vote for him because they are afraid the liberals would turn great kids trans. I wish I was kidding. The signs were in the air, but their concerns first proved to be true last March. In the late hours of 31st March 2020, a proposed law appeared that would ban trans people from changing their legal gender. It's a perfect illustration of the utter cynicism and vileness of these people that they would propose a transphobic law like this on Trans Day of Remembrance. And of course it was voted into effect, immediately signed by our president despite going against the European Convention on Human Rights and even the Constitution that Orban and his friends wrote. Fun fact, one of those friends was found fleeing a gay orgy in Brussels last December. Also last December, they modified this constitution for the nth time. They added that they protect the right of the child to an identity according to their birth sex, whatever that means. It's not defined anywhere. And they also added the mother is a woman, the father is a man. No one ever said otherwise. They make up bullshit like this and write it in the fucking constitution just to rile up their voters. And finally this year they announced they'd go after pedophiles. Of course, with the way they usually do, with brutal force, not listening to any experts. This proposed new law, creating a public register of sex offenders, was supported by every single party. Now there's a problem. They can't use it to make the opposition look bad. So what do? During Pride Month, obviously, they amend the law proposal to include the bans for content that popularizes or discusses homosexuality for minors. And the cynical bastards, I'm trying really hard not to be too harsh here, but it's just the truth, say on TV, calm down, it's only to protect children, it only forbids propaganda, read the law. I read the fucking law. It forbids discussion of homosexuality and transgender topics with under 18-year-olds. It does the exact opposite of what it sets out to do. It harms children. I have lots of LGBTQ friends in Hungary. And living in an environment like this, it takes a toll on you. You know you're marked as the next target for the hate mob. Every day, the right-wing media, which slowly dominates everything in Hungary, slanders you and spreads lies about you. You spend your days in fear of what could come next. What absolutely horrible thing these fuckers thought out again. One of my friends had stomach cramps for days after this law was announced. Originally, I was planning to say some of these bastards are here in this building behind me, but the cowards had closed up the area, so it's that building over there with the flag on it. The people in there, they represent the agenda of Orban here in Austria. Their task is to explain to Austrians all the vile bullshit he spreads and to make Austrians believe that Hungary is still a democratic country. I don't know why they do it, for money, for a nice fat job in Austria. I'll never know, but usually, after a while, I see them start to believe the lies they spread. So let's send a message to them. Who wants to learn some Hungarian? So this means families are families, and it's pronounced, say it with me please, o család, az család, a család, az család, a család, az család, a család, az család, a család, az család, az család, a család. Thank you so much. And then you see we're the hateful ones, for paying to raise our voice against injustice, for daring to speak out against harming children. Yes, it's true, I'm angry. And I hope lots of you are outraged too. I hope it will give us the strength that is needed to fight against this unjust law. I've heard that lots of teachers and therapists are already saying they will defy the law. I hope they will have the strength to do so. And I hope that all the people in Hungary, all the queer people in Hungary will have the strength. So I have another message, if you're ready. At one's level. This means you are not alone, and it's the official slogan of the campaign against this law. Nem vagy egyedül. 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 Thank you. Thanks. The President of Hungary, János Áder, has signed the law into effect. Next year, he'll need to sign something else. Next year, he'll need to sign something else, the resignation of my Hungarian citizenship. It's not an easy decision to give it up. I will carry a part of Hungary inside me all my life. But if being a citizen means being a subject of these tyrants, I'd rather give it up. I'm very fortunate that I can live here. I can't thank my parents enough who pushed me to take this chance. And luckily, here in Austria, the fight for equal rights has come a lot further than in Hungary. One of the most exciting legal battles is currently being fought by members of Vienna, a non-binary association. They fight for the right of trans people to legally identify as non-binary in a lawsuit known as Genderklage. I really hope they succeed, as next year I'm planning to apply for Austrian citizenship, and I hope that when I get it, I'll be finally recognized as my true gender. Now I'm here to tell you all about what Vienna is and what Vienna does.
Thank you, Milan, for your important insights into the situation in Hungary. Danke, Milan, für deinen wichtigen Einblick in die Situation vor Ort. Also es hat sich in diesem Jahr ein Verein, der Verein Nicht-Binär oder kurz WNIP, gegründet hier in Österreich. Wir sind Austauschort und Interessensvertretung für nicht-binäre Menschen. Das heißt, Menschen, die sich außerhalb der zwei binären Geschlechter, Frau und Mann, wiederfinden. Oder dazwischen, oder einer Mischung der beiden, oder sonst was anderes.
This year we actually, Emerson Vienna, founded the Verein Nicht-Binär, in short, VNIB, a non-binary organization. We provide a meeting space and protect the interests of non-binary people. That is, people that identify outside of, in between, or as a mix of the two binary genders, man and woman.
Wir sind zum großen Teil aus der Vernetzungsgruppe Gender Galaxie entstanden. Wir treffen uns einmal im Monat und bei uns sind alle willkommen, die sich nicht oder nicht nur als Frau oder Mann sehen. Herzlich willkommen sind auch alle, die sich nicht sicher sind.
This organization grew out of the networking group Gender Galaxy. We meet once a month. Everyone's welcome who doesn't only see themselves as man or woman. Questioning people are also met with a warm welcome.
Wie Milan schon erwähnt hat, ist eines der Hauptziele von VNIB die rechtliche Gleichstellung von nicht-binären Personen.
One of the main goals of VNIB is achieving legal equality for non-binary people.
Alex Jürgen hat inzwischen Großes verändert und für Intersex-Personen alternative Geschlechtseinträge erkämpft. Inter, divers oder die Streichung des Eintrags.
Alex Jürgen has achieved a great change and successfully fought for alternative gender markers for intersex people. It's now possible to have inter, diverse, or nothing at all as your legal gender.
Diese Einträge sind jedoch für andere Personen, wie zum Beispiel für Transpersonen, verboten.
But this is not yet possible for others, for example, trans people.
Keiner weiß warum. Seit 8.6. gibt es dafür die Kampagne der Genderklage. Die könnt ihr gerne online unter genderklage.at suchen. Die Genderklage klagt bereits auf der Ebene des Verfassungsgerichts, dass nicht-binäre Menschen in Österreich anerkannt werden. Wenn ihr wollt, könnt ihr die Klage mit einer Spende unterstützen.
On June 8th, we started a campaign called Genderklage with the website genderklage.at. The Genderklage, or gender lawsuit, is suing at the administrative court level with the goal to recognize non-binary people in Austria. If you'd like, you can support the lawsuit with a donation.
Ich kann nur sagen, ich hatte Glück, hier in Wien groß zu werden. Ich konnte mich von klein auf ausdrücken, wie ich wollte, lieben, wen ich wollte, ohne viel Hass dafür zu ernten.
I'd just like to say I was very fortunate to be raised here in Vienna. I was able to express myself however I wanted, love whoever I wanted from a young age without getting lots of hate for it.
Aber das geht nur, weil wir als LGBTIQ-Personen rechtlichen Schutz haben.
But that's only possible because we, as LGBTIQ people, have legal protections.
Und auch wenn es noch viel zu verbessern gibt, ist es ein Privileg, so zu leben. Dieses Privileg sollte selbstverständlich sein. Vor allem in Europa. Deshalb sind wir hier versammelt.
And even if there is a lot more to achieve, it's a privilege to live like this. Everyone should have this privilege, especially in Europe. This is why we have gathered here.
Je mehr sich die queere Community zusammenfindet, im Real Life und online, desto besser können wir die Communities anderswo stützen.
The more the queer community comes together in real life and online, the more we can support communities elsewhere.
Kommt zur Gender Galaxie, wenn ihr euch vernetzen wollt.
Come to Gender Galaxy if you'd like to get to know new people.
Schaut auf die Webseite von unserem Verein, venib.at, und schaut auch rein bei der Genderklage.at.
Check out the website of our organization, venib.at, and check out genderklage.at.
Wir sind queere Menschenverbände und wir stellen uns solidarisch mit allen, die momentan in Ungarn nicht rechtmäßig behandelt werden.
we're queer associations, and we express our solidarity to all who are being treated unjustly in Hungary.
Als nächstes würde ich gerne Julia auf die Bühne bitten.
Hallo, Grüße. Wir ehemalige Kindesmissbrauchsopfer kennen das Gefühl, benutzt zu sein. Das Gefühl, nur ein Objekt zu sein, der zur Befriedigung eines Erwachsenen benutzt wird. Als ich von der geplanten Gesetzänderung gehört habe, war ich glücklich, erleichtert. Endlich wird das Tabu des Kindesmissbrauchs gebrochen, endlich wird nach Lösungen gesucht, Schutzmaßnahmen erarbeitet, eine gesellschaftliche Diskussion fängt endlich an und die Kinder von heute werden besser geschützt als wir damals. Ich hatte Hoffnung. Aber dann kam die Enttäuschung. Das verabschiedete Gesetz verschärft zwar die Strafe für pädophile Verbrechen. Alles schön und gut. Mindestens der nächste Gábor Kaleta wird nicht mehr einfach so von dem ungarischen Geheimdienst in einer Stille aus seinem Botschafteramt in Peru nach Hause geschmuggelt, nachdem er mit 19.000 kinderpornografische Bilder auf seinem PC erwischt wurden. Der nächste Gepunkt vielleicht mehr als nur eine lächerliche Geldstrafe und ein jahrbedingte Hausstrafe dafür. Der nächste bekommt vielleicht schon einen Platz auf die öffentliche Liste der Pädophile, die jetzt eingeführt wird. Neben allen Jugendlichen, die zwischen sich oder gerade eben auf Druck von Pädophilen Nacktbilder von sich online verschickt haben. Im Gesetz ist nichts von Prävention, nichts von altersgerechter sexueller Aufklärung, so dass die Kinder erkennen, wenn sie in Gefahr sind und Hilfe suchen können. Nein, Orbáns Pressesprecher hat sogar gestern gesagt, sexuelle Aufklärung soll künftig durch die Familie erfolgen. Wo ist der Schutz der vernachlässigten Kinder oder denen, die gerade in der eigenen Familie bedroht sind? Das wird nicht gut gehen. Im Gesetz ist nichts von Opferschutz, nichts von Kinderrechten, Verhörmethoden, damit missbrauchte Kinder nicht durch mehrfach wiederholte Befragungen weiter traumatisiert werden. Nichts ist von der Erweiterung der Therapieplätze, Schulung der Pädagogen. Das ist nicht in diesem Gesetz, wofür ich gehofft habe. Es scheint mir fast so, als ob es gar nicht um den Kinder und deren Schutz ginge. Gummiknochen. So heißt es in Ungarn, wenn die Regierung von irgendeiner Schweinerei, meistens Korruption, durch ein Thema ablenkt, der große emotionelle Welle schlägt. Wie gesagt, das Gefühl benutzt zu sein kennen wir. Schauen wir mal, wozu sind wir Kindesmissbrauchsopfern und die LGBT-Community diesmal benutzt. Am selben Tag wurden 3 weitere Gesetze verabschiedet. Fudan-Universität. Trotz heftiger Proteste und einer geplanten Volksabstimmung beschließt die Regierung, eine chinesische Universität für chinesische Elitestunden in der Budapest Studienviertel zu bauen. Aus chinesischen Kredit, die auch noch unsere Enkelkinder zahlen werden. Gegen den Willen der Bürger, die Empörung war groß, dann kam das Pädophilgesetz und jetzt redet kaum noch jemand darüber. Die Privatisierung der Autobahnen und die Gemeindewohnungen. In den renommierten Burgviertel in Budapest, wovon wird der Norden von der Wirtschaft profitiert. Neueste Entwicklung von heute, der Präsident und Berufsschüler Ungarns. János Áder tut jetzt so, als ob er selbst entscheiden dürfte und hat einer der 4 Gesetze nicht unterschreiben. Also, die Gemeindewohnungen werden vielleicht nicht mehr für benutzt und partyfreundlich verscherbelt. Mit den anderen 3 Gesetzen hat unser János kein Problem. Dieses Gesetz ist eine Falle für die Opposition. Wer dafür stimmt, stimmt auch für die Diskriminierung LGBT-Jugendlicher. Wer dagegen stimmt, wird in der Regierungsmedia pädophilfreundlich genannt. Die Großkoalitionen der Opposition wurden zerschlagen, da die rechte Partei Jobbik in der Hoffnung von der Stimmen vor rechts für den Gesetz stimmte. Ob es noch eine Zukunft für die Koalition gibt, ist ungewiss. Ohne Jobbik hat die Opposition aber nicht genug Stimmen gegen Fidesz. Also, dafür wurden wir diesmal alle benutzt. Danke, Jungs. In der Namen von den Opfern, szép volt, fiúk. Danke.
We're queer! We're fabulous! Don't mess with us! We're here! We're queer! We're fabulous! Don't mess with us!
Queer Liberation muss immer internationalistisch gedacht werden. Und deswegen möchte ich als nächstes bitte Georgia Vienna auf die Bühne bitten, ein Verein, der sich in Polen mit Abtreibungsrechten beschäftigt.
We are Ciocia Vienna. We are a queer feminist collective that supports people from Poland and other countries where abortion is illegal. We provide information about reproductive rights and available forms of abortion in Austria. We help with the organization of travel, accommodation, abortion procedure, and translation. We provide a non-judgmental space for all people who are in an unwanted pregnancy. Cis women, non-binary, trans, inter, agender, and queer people, regardless of nationality, legal status, and place of residency. The authoritarian government in Poland, strongly linked to the Catholic Church, has ordered an almost total ban on abortion, which was announced in October 2020 and came into force in January this year. Since October, the mass protests formed around women's strikes have become the biggest social movement in the country since the Solidarity strikes in 1980s. The protests in Poland took the form of a feminist and queer revolution directed against the violent and arrogant government promoting sexism, homophobia, transphobia, nationalism, and disdain towards the working class. The movement draws its rage and tactics directly from the protests against discrimination of LGBTQ communities in Poland, which were also brutally pacified by the police.
In 2020, LGBTQ community in Poland has been subjected to raging homophobic attacks, physical and verbal, which was fired by a deeply homophobic presidential campaign and followed by arrests of activists. The culmination of the events was the arrest of 48 persons taking part in a peaceful protest to defend Polish non-binary activist Margot, a member of the collective Stop Zduro, Stop the Bullshit, who on August 7, 2020 has been put under arrest for protesting far-right fanatics spreading homophobic propaganda. Today, Margot and another activist from the same collective, Wania, are facing charges for which they can be imprisoned up to 5 years. This is a charge for defending a community by spraying the words "Stop the bullshit" over a minibus driving through the streets of Warsaw, spreading audiovisual homophobic propaganda. The car was protected by the police. As always, in the capitalist society, value of property exceeds the value of human rights, existence, and dignity. Since 2015, in Poland, human rights activists are being repressed by interrogations and arrests with totally inadequate force to the accusations they are under. The aim is to terrorize civil society and the grassroots movement. A new authoritarian regime was born in the heart of Europe and the European Union, destroying all forms of democratic instruments which would allow us to defend rights of marginalized groups.
Today's demonstration has been organized in solidarity with the Hungarian and worldwide LGBTQ community who are living in oppressive and hostile countries. We stand in solidarity with the communities in Hungary and in Poland whose existence is being denied and who suffer from aggression not only from the society but also from the state. At the same time, we recognize that there is no country where life as a queer person is free from oppression and hostility. There is no country and there is no place where patriarchal violence isn't present. And especially for women, inter, non-binary, trans, or agender persons,
The violence is a daily experience in every country, including Austria. And the struggle of the community in Hungary is not relevant to Hungary only, or to Orban himself. Too many countries currently have their own Orbans, and Poland or Austria are no different. We need the queer feminist, international and anti-national solidarity which can resist the force. We need to act together. Alerta! Alerta! Queer feminista! Alerta! Alerta! Queer feminista! Alerta! Alerta! Queer feminista!
Hi Queers! Voll! Ich bin Sebastian, studiere Soziologie. Kit hat mir vor wenigen Wochen, vor 2 Wochen, 1,5 Wochen gefragt, ob wir eine Demo machen wollen. Und ich war so, ja fix, und das hat geklappt. Und das ist für mich noch mehr ein Zeichen, dass wir alle Demos machen können. So nichts hindert uns daran, uns zu organisieren, gemeinsam auf die Straße zu gehen für Queer Liberation. Voll. Und ihr habt Rede mitgebracht, weil es mir sehr wichtig ist, auf Österreich zu verweisen, auf Polizeikritik zu verweisen. Meine Pronomen sind er und they. Hello, queer people, non-binary people, I love you. Queer sein heißt immer schon Aufheben von Grenzen, Widerstand gegen und Abschaffung von polizeilichen Strukturen, Abarbeiten unseres polizeilichen Miteinanders. Polizeipräsenz und Sicherheit nämlich sind ein Widerspruch. Das wissen wir als Community immer schon. Queere Geschichte ist eine Geschichte gegen Staatsgewalt. Queere Zukunft ist eine Zukunft ohne Polizei, ohne Gefängnisse, ohne Abschiebebehörden, ohne Kapitalismus. Eine Zukunft, die auf Mutual Aid basiert und Sicherheit ohne Gefährdung durch den Staat. Queer sein heißt auch, uns außerhalb von Ländern und Flaggen zu begreifen, kämpferisch und klassenbewusst auf die Straße zu gehen. Staaten können uns nicht den Raum geben, als queere Personen zu blühen, aber wir können und wir werden uns diesen Raum nehmen. Wichtig ist auch zu betonen, dass Queer Liberation sich nicht auf Sozialchauvinismus stützen kann. Mir geht es in Österreich nur so gut, wie es Queers in jedem anderen Staat, anerkannt oder nicht, und jeder Gemeinschaft international geht. Wir sind queere Geschwister, wir gehören zusammen. Für eine Pride, die den Schutz aller queeren Personen als Bedingung stellt und sich dafür nicht erst auf die Suche nach dem Komfort der cis-hetero-Öffentlichkeit, der weißen, nicht migrantischen katholischen Mehrheitsgesellschaft und dem Kapitalmarkt. Abseits von Assimilationspolitiken, die auf den Schultern derer ausgetragen werden, die in der Gemeinschaft historisch am meisten Verachtung und am wenigsten Beachtung ihrer Kämpfe, unserer Kämpfe erhalten haben. Transpersonen, nicht-binäre Personen, Queers of Color, queere Geflüchtete, queere ArbeiterInnen, SexarbeiterInnen, behinderte Queers, dicke Queers, neurodiverse Queers, psychisch belastete Queers, bisexuelle Butchers und schwule Femmes, kinky Agender-Personen, schüchterne Pansexuelle, haarige Twinks und Leather-Doms im Bürojob, Fukuhila-Lesben, Marsha P. for Pay It No Mind und latine Marxistinnen, die auf Repression der NYPD mit Molotovs und revolutionären Bündnissen geantwortet haben. Wir brauchen queeren Selbstschutz und direkte Aktion, praktische Solidarität mit Queers überall. Selbstorganisation, die sich nicht auf die selektive Barmherzigkeit neoliberaler Parteien, polizeilicher Strukturen und Profitinteressen verlässt. Von Queers für Queers. Und auch nicht auf Parteien, die den Koalitionsbruch nicht riskieren möchten und dafür die Queer Community hinter sich lassen, bitte. Dafür braucht es Nachbarinnenschaftsinitiativen. Wir haben in Wien die Transdifa unterstützt, die Transdifa, geht's zur Transdifa. Es gibt Bündnisse für queere Personen in Wien, in ganz Österreich. Es gibt Queer Alternativ, es gibt Trikots in LGBT. Wir haben sehr viele Strukturen, mit denen wir für uns sorgen können, mit uns. Es gibt auch kulturelle Spaces wie das Lazy Life. Nicht der Staat, sondern wir als Gemeinschaft passen aufeinander auf. Danke. Als nächste Person möchte ich bitte Louis auf die Bühne bitten. Louis wird über Hormontherapie in Österreich und persönliche Erlebnisse reden. Danke.
Hi. Thank you for staying here while it's raining. I hope our rage keeps us warm. I'm here to talk to you today about personal experiences as a non-binary person trying to transition socially and medically here in Austria. I come from Brazil originally, which is the #1 country in killing trans people, and being in Austria should feel like a privilege, and it sure does to a certain degree, but why are we taking the sheer bare minimum as a standard and celebrating it? We should, and we deserve way more, and yeah, should be obvious. So I'm non-binary and I'm transitioning hormonally. Actually, tomorrow will be my 1 year on T, so it feels really cool to celebrate with queer people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The journey to get on my hormonal therapy was very difficult and humiliating. I came to learn that psychiatrists, psychologists, medical professionals are not well informed. They questioned my gender on multiple occasions, and I had to pretend to be a trans man multiple times in order to get my treatment. Coming out socially reminded me a lot of coming out as a bisexual, it being completely erased and devalidated, and me constantly having to prove how queer I am. I'm sick of having to prove anything and it being up to cisheads to decide how much my transness is worth. I'm sick of it, and I guess we all are sick of this shit. It's bullshit. Yeah. It was also, I just wanted to tell a personal story because it happened on Monday. I went to get my vaccine shot, and the person looking at my passport asked, "Who is this?" And I was like, "It's me, it's just like a while ago." And she was like, "Yeah, no, take your mask off, take your glasses off, let me see." And I had to do all of that. Keep in mind, surrounded by a lot of strangers, and I did. And then this person went on to questioning like, but aren't you a man? Why does it say in your passport that you're a woman? And the dilemma that I'm in is I cannot change that legally, but I get harassed for something that I cannot change. So what's up with that, fucking Austria? Like, I feel like Austria loves to pride itself on being very open-minded and very tolerant, but people will still try to, I don't know, I feel like everyone is obsessed with genitalia, and that's not weird at all. Like, that's cool, however, whatever. But when it comes to me trying to have a legal representation of who I am on a passport, it is very, very difficult to do so. And while I appreciate the privilege that I do have living in Austria, this is not even the bare minimum. This should be absolutely obvious, and I hope that we all as a community can come together every single time to show that we are here, we are queer, and we won't go away. We're here, we're queer, we won't go away. We're here, we're queer, we won't go away. Thank you.
Thank you so much to everybody for all your speeches. And thank you so much for everybody for coming out from the closet and here. It's really means a lot to me. I said it earlier personally because as Sebastian explained earlier, this started as me texting him with, I want to fucking riot. And he was like, let's do it. This is exactly how it started. And I'm so, so happy that this came together. I really want to thank every one of you who brought the bus, who are ordnerinnen, who helped me in any way, who I texted with you on Instagram, called you, texted you. I'm so, so grateful, really. I also prepared a little speech that I wanted to share with you, and then afterwards the main event can start. We're gonna move to Heldenplatz to listen to some music, electro, because queer resistance isn't just our pain, it's also our joy. And let's celebrate some. I wish I didn't have to stand here. I wish I wasn't called a queer activist. I wish I could just simply be a person. I wish that who I am and who I love wasn't turned into a political agenda by old, rich, straight, white, cis men. I wish that people would understand that there are so many ways to be and to love, and I wish someone would tell the children so they don't grow up to be self-hating, empty shells who will write homophobic laws and then caught in a gay orgy in Brussels during a pandemic. Our existence isn't an agenda. Our existence is holier than your fake Christian morals. You're just scared because you know that if Jesus was alive today, he would be standing here with us. A proud non-binary, asexual, biromantic communist with a sign that says, fellas, is it gay to love thy neighbor? We had enough of empty symbolic gestures and fake virtue signaling from Western Europe. A rainbow stadium in an LGBTQ freedom zone and photoshopping makeup on homophobic autocrats means nothing when it's still us queers protesting the fundamentalist Christians marching in the middle of the city. It means nothing when Pride is sponsored by Jägermeister and our cishet allies feel entitled to grab and touch our queer bodies because chill out, man, love is love. It means nothing when the police has already started harassing and threatening school children for wearing rainbow-colored friendship bracelets. It means nothing when somebody could be fired from their job for being at Pride. It means nothing when me and my partner could be denied housing by the landlord because we are queer. It means nothing when the cops are carefully leading away the neo-fascists that dropped the banner at Pride, while their comrades, allies, co-conspirators, friends and family are brutalized for not leaving a protest fast enough. It means nothing. It means nothing to the entire police force in Hungary, who just can't wait to use this law to justify whatever senseless violence they're about to commit to protect the children. It means nothing to the LGBTQ community, who will be turned into scapegoats by the hate-mongering government-owned media. You can keep your passive, empty gestures. They will not keep us safe. They won't save us from violence and discrimination, because we cannot have queer liberation under capitalism. We cannot have trans liberation under capitalism. We cannot have liberation when it's still profit over people, when I'm only measured by my ability to function in a system that never had my back. We need a society where everyone has enough, where we don't need to fight and compete just to be able to secure our existence, because today we might be the enemy, but tomorrow it might be you that's made responsible for all the suffering and poverty created by the state to distract you from the stealing and harassment that they do. We need to end the culture of scarcity designed to keep us in our place. We need to end this, not just for our queer and trans siblings in Hungary. We need to end it for everyone beyond. We need to end this for all of our sakes. We need governments to invest into communities instead of the cops, because the safest communities are never the ones with the most surveillance. They are the ones with the most resources. We need universal basic income. We need free housing for all. We need community centers. We need free healthcare that includes mental health care, hormone replacement therapy, and gender-affirming surgeries. We need to make drastic and extreme changes in our industry to end the climate crisis, which we should have done yesterday. We need the kind of educational programs in school that Hungary just banned, so the kids can make informed decisions about their lives and bodies and relationships. There was a time in my life when I was certain I wouldn't make it past 20. And then I turned 21, and then 22, and now I'm 28. And I am so goddamn proud and grateful to be here in front of you. Because Vienna, the community I found here, you pulled me through. And this is the reason that I'm up here speaking to you. Because I found the courage to be who I am, not in my hometown, not in where I came from, but here. And I don't want another kid growing up the way I did. This law is a life sentence on an entire generation of queer and trans kids. This is an attempt at erasing an entire generation of queer and trans kids. We already lost a generation to the AIDS pandemic and the world's ignorance and hate. We owe it to our elders that we lost too early, who fought like hell for everything we have now. We owe it to them to fight like hell for all the kids who are sitting in their rooms right now, convinced that there's not a soul on this planet that loves them. We need to tell them, you are not alone. 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 We're going to be moving to Heldenplatz shortly, so just bear with us, and thank you again for coming. It means a lot.
Als erstes möchte die Judeo-BolschewinerInnen auf die Bühne willkommen heißen, ein linkes jüdisches Kollektiv aus Wien.
Ja, hallo?
Hallo?
Hallo!
Hi! So, also wir stellen uns kurz vor.
Ja, also ich bin Monika
Ich bin Anna.
und wir sprechen heute für die Judeo-Bolschewienerinnen. Und wir sind eben ein Kollektiv linker Jüdinnen und Juden aus Wien und haben unterschiedliche Hintergründe und Herkünfte. Und als wir uns formierten, war für uns klar, dass Solidarigkeit, Jiddisch für Solidarität, eines unserer Grundprinzipien sein sollte. Uns war klar, dass ein jüdischer Aktivismus genauso divers sein muss wie die jüdischen Lebensrealitäten und dass auch unsere Lebensqualitäten eben auch so divers sind. Wir sind jüdisch und viele von uns sind queer und wir werden nicht eines dem anderen vorziehen. Wir werden nicht zulassen, dass eines das andere ausschließt. Denn queere Personen gibt es überall. In jedem Land, in jeder Kultur und an jeder Ecke. Das wird sich nicht ändern. Keine LGBT-plus-freie Zone, kein Gesetz und keine Regierung kann dies ändern. Wir zeigen uns solidarisch mit der ungarischen Queer-Community und verurteilen das Agieren der ungarischen Regierung aufs Schärfste.
Es kann nicht sein, dass in einem Europa, welches sich auf Menschenrechte beruft, ein Europa, in dem vor weniger als 100 Jahren der Holocaust stattgefunden hat, queere Menschen Angst haben müssen, sich zu zeigen, dass ihre Sichtbarkeit kriminalisiert wird. Wir brauchen uns keine Illusionen machen. Europa hat aus seiner Geschichte nicht gelernt. Wenn wir über Europa sprechen, dann sprechen wir von einer Gemeinschaft. Eine Gemeinschaft, welche sich selbst imaginierte und nichts mehr als eine Festung darstellt. Eine Festung, die nicht nur Menschen im Mittelmeer ertrinken lässt, sondern auch ihre eigenen BewohnerInnen unterdrückt. In der Minderheiten und marginalisierte Gruppen noch immer nicht ohne Furcht leben können, während man sich selbst damit rühmt, dass die Menschenrechte so hochgehalten werden.
Und Österreich sieht zu, wir sehen zu. Die Nachrichten, die uns aus Ungarn erreicht haben, sind nicht weit weg. Sie kommen von der anderen Seite des Neusiedlersees. Wir können es uns nicht leisten, dass wir hier wegschauen und so tun, als würde uns das nicht betreffen. Wir müssen uns solidarisch mit jenen zeigen, die Widerstand leisten. Und auch solidarisch mit jenen, die zu sehr Angst haben, Widerstand zu leisten. Für die, die sich nicht trauen, sich zu outen. Für genau diese Menschen müssen wir auch schreien. Für die, die nicht schreien können. Ihre Rechte sind nicht verhandelbar. Sie sind kein Spielball für die Politik. Wenn rechtsextreme Politikerinnen davon sprechen, dass queere Menschen den Zerfall einer Gesellschaft, eine Gefahr für Kinder und Familie darstellen, dann müssen wir auch horchen.
Wir als Jüdinnen und Juden wissen, wie wichtig Community ist. Community bedeutet aber mehr als nur Regenbogenkapitalismus einmal im Jahr. Community bedeutet, dass wir füreinander da sind, dass wir auf die Acht geben, die gerade am verletzlichsten sind. Community bedeutet, dass wir verstehen, dass wir laut sind, bis unsere Community immer und überall safe ist. Community bedeutet auch, dass man sich eine Familie aussucht. Community darf kein leeres Wort mehr sein. Wenn wir Teil einer Community sind, dann sind wir Teil einer Familie. Eine Familie jenseits heteropatriarchaler Vorstellung. Dann sind wir eine Familie, die für sich einsteht und die sich gegenseitig unterstützt.
Der Angriff auf die ungarische queere Community ist ein Angriff auf uns alle. Das dürfen wir nicht vergessen. Das dürfen wir nicht vergessen, wenn die österreichische Regierung sich überlegen muss, ob sie sich mit anderen EU-Ländern gegen das ungarische Gesetz äußert. Wir dürfen nicht abwarten, wir dürfen nicht resignieren, wir dürfen uns nicht auf Regierungen verlassen, dass sie uns schützen. Wir müssen dafür sorgen, dass unsere Stimmen gehört werden. Wir müssen dafür sorgen, dass die Stimmen der queeren Menschen in Ungarn gehört werden. Wir müssen mit ihnen protestieren, denn am Ende ist es immer nur unser Druck, unser Protest, der etwas bewegt. Und während wir für unsere Genossinnen in Ungarn einstehen, dürfen wir trotzdem eines nicht vergessen. Nicht nur in Ungarn kommt es zu Repressalien gegenüber queeren Personen. Keiner ist frei, bis es alle sind. Unsere Solidarität muss intersektional bleiben und kompromisslos. Sie muss andauern bis zur Befreiung der Community in Ungarn und aller queeren Menschen.
Danke. Danke.
Queere Befreiung bedeutet auch immer Antifaschismus. Alerta! Alerta! Antifaschista! Alerta, alerta, antifascista, alerta, alerta, antifascista. Als nächstes würde ich gerne das Queer-Museum Wien vorstellen. Das Queer-Museum Vienna hat sich zum Ziel gesetzt, einen Ort in Wien zu schaffen, wo queere Geschichten, Kultur und Kunst ein Zuhause finden. Das Queer-Museum Vienna begreift den vermeintlichen Widerspruch zwischen Queer und Museum als eine Chance, ein Spiel und auch eine Aneignung von Institutionen und deren Umdeutung.
So, hi everyone. Woo! First of all, solidarity with our queer siblings in Hungary. Woo! And a huge boss make to Orban Viktor. Fuck you. So, it will be a little bit a bumpy ride. I prepared it in German and well, but obviously English is a little bit better. So, let me tell you about our project. We are a collective whose aim is it to establish in Vienna a room, a space for queer history and queer art. Give it a home and give back, especially queer young people, a history. Teach them and educate them that there have been queer people all the time, like 1,000 years ago. They might not have been named like that, but they were there. Like non-heteronormative people were there all the time. And this needs to be taught, and every young person, and still there is internet and everything, but still a queer young person grows up and thinks like, first of all, like they are the only ones. And therefore it's very important to educate everyone that we have been here all the time, since the beginning of time. And this is our aim, give back history to the queer community. And preserve it and collect it, and especially as well give people from abroad, not just in Austria, a chance to preserve their history and their art and establish it as an anti-national museum, not just for Austrian artists. We are collaborating already very closely with Wien. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's a queer archive in the 4th district. They are collecting already like papers, books, etc., about queer history, but they don't have rooms to exhibit it, and they are underfunded and have not enough resources to educate people and to give a proper educational program for everyone. So this will be as well a huge aim of ours, to increase the funding there and to teach everyone about our history. We are very well aware that it will be rather difficult to on the one hand, like work within the community and give the community a space for their history, and on the other hand, like teach people outside the community about our history. But we hope we will manage that. So far, the city of Vienna is rather, let's say, reluctant to support us, but we will not give up. We will fight for our space and for our place in history. And if one of you is interested in collaborating with us, I don't know, especially if you're coming from history, art history, exhibition management, and have skills in these departments, you're very welcome to contact us and collaborate with us. We are very open for that. Or if you have rich parents, send them to us. We need money and space. Yeah, well, that's it. You're very welcome to, if you have more detailed questions or so on about the project. And let's try to stay in solidarity, not just with Hungary, with Poland, with everyone, every queer person. Solidarity is the key to solve the problem. Woo! Yeah, thank you.
Ich glaube, jemand von Afro Rainbow Austria hat sich noch gemeldet für eine kurze Rede.
Hi everyone. Mein Name ist Asia und ich bin Mitglied Afro Rainbow Austria. Und ich komme aus Somalia und ich kann mir vorstellen, die Situation in Ungarn. Weil so auch in Afrika oder Somalia ist Unrecht zu behandeln, wenn du queer Person bist. Also, ich habe nichts viel zu sagen, weil es wurde viel gesagt, es wurde die Situation geschildert. Ich will nur sagen, wir werden nicht zum Schweigen gebracht, queer Menschen werden nicht zum Schweigen gebracht. Wir haben eine Stimme und wir haben eine Wahl und wir haben uns entschieden, unsere Stimme zu benutzen. Dass wir heute stark zusammenstehen, sagen wir, was wir gestern gesagt haben und morgen sagen werden. Wir weigern uns zu schweigen. Wir lassen uns nicht einschüchtern. As our queer community in Vienna, we stand by queer community in Hungary. Queer lives matter. Thank you.
Jetzt wird es noch kurze Pause, glaube ich, geben mit Musik und dann werdet ihr Elektra auf der Bühne sehen, representing for queer music in Vienna.